And if they're working with an agent, the agent sees that information in their CRM. Like that entire, that example and that ecosystem and the flow of data and information to make the agent and the customer's life easier is what sets booj apart.
You are listening to the 10-4 at R4 podcast, recorded live at RE/MAX R4 2020 from the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. In this episode, we discuss
booj
with
Angelica Olmsted
of
booj
from
Denver, Colorado.
Now, here are your hosts, Jesse Peters and Michael Thorne.
Welcome to the 10-4 at R4 podcast. I am Michael Thorne of RE/MAX Lifestyles Realty in Langley, BC. And in the co-host seat is my dear friend Jesse Peters from RE/MAX Executives Realty in Winnipeg, Manitoba. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. I got a big grin on my face, ready to roll into the podcast world.
It's exciting. And our guest is Angelica Olmsted from booj. This is a 10-minute podcast, so we got to jump right into it.
Let's do it.
The question or the misunderstanding I see in the RE/MAX network about booj is this. In a Facebook group, someone asked the question, I'm comparing this CRM and this website provider against this CRM from booj and this website provider from booj. Which way should I go? And I responded with, booj is not a CRM or a website provider. And then the response back was, well, then what is it? So the question to you, Angelica, what is booj?
Well, booj stands for Be Original or Jealous, and we are a tech company. So we're a platform. We're a technology platform, and we have a CRM. We've created a website. We offer lead generation, and we also have mobile apps. So we are that entire ecosystem or product tools that help the agents, the offices, the teams make their business easier, right? We build the tech, they have the relationships, and they use the technology to further their relationships.
And right now they're looking at booj as two products versus another company that's two products. 5 years down from the road, it's 13 products potentially against two products.
Totally.
I mean, it's an ecosystem. It's in its evolution stage.
It is. I mean, we're just getting started. This year we've released the websites and the CRM and the apps, and we have a lot of additional functionality we want to build onto what we've already released. In addition to, new products and tools, we want to build a CMA. We have a lot of additional functionality we want to build and keep building on.
And what I love about that, and from my brain thinking about how booj works, because I get a lot of questions about it up in Canada, I explain it like booj is kind of like the mothership.
Yeah.
And everything that comes off it is adding to the fleet.
Totally. I like that comparison.
Every quarter, every 6 weeks, every 6 months, you're adding to the fleet to enhance what is here for the RE/MAX brand.
Exactly. And I think the biggest thing is to enhance the functionality we already have based on feedback. So, we're hearing from people what they like, what they don't like, what would make the products and tools better. So let's keep improving on those. But let's also build new things from scratch in addition to that. So, constantly releasing, constantly improving. We're never going to be stagnant. We're always going to be releasing and making it bigger and better. It's technology. It's always changing. We don't know what's going to be out there in a couple of years. Let's push the limits.
And a couple things. I mean, we brought up so many things we can talk about. The nice thing about that mothership and everything, it's all going to play nice with each other because it is an ecosystem, which is a huge asset. And the other thing too as well, what you're talking about, this platform. One of the things that is so remarkable is it's not a product that RE/MAX has purchased, one particular product. And this is owned by RE/MAX, and therefore the feedback and the input that RE/MAX agents has had over the last 2 years is remarkable, and that will be ongoing. We are heavily involved as a network in the functionality. If I called up Twitter and said, hey, I would really like to have this function added, it would improve my business, what are they going to say? Versus if the network says this is what's going to make it better, that's what you guys want to do. You want to make it as good for the network as possible.
100%. And we built what we built and have released already based on the network's feedback and alpha and beta and events like R4, asking people what do they like and what do they not like. And we've even adjusted some of the functionality from what we released in alpha based on that feedback. You have to constantly evolve and change. And I also want to hit on that topic you mentioned with the ecosystem is, you can go out and purchase an off-the-shelf CRM, an off-the-shelf app, an off-the-shelf website. But what you're getting with booj is that ecosystem of all the products and tools talking to each other. So if a customer creates a saved search on the app, they have that same experience on the website. And if they're working with an agent, the agent sees that information in their CRM. Like that entire, that example and that ecosystem and the flow of data and information to make the agent and the customer's life easier is what sets booj apart.
And from an agent standpoint, it's not overly complicated to create and execute.
Totally.
Correct? Like I remember sitting in the trainings last year and looking at the website development, and it was click, drag, but didn't have that like cookie cutter vibe. It was, sexy.
Yeah.
Right? But there's something here from whether you're, first day realtor or 20-day realtor or, super down the rabbit hole with tech or like, oh, you know what? This is a lot, but I still need to have a little something to get in.
Totally. And you shouldn't have to be a developer to use our tools. We're the developers. We'll develop it for you and we'll create, a platform that anyone can use to the extent you want to use it.
Incubation is something else. We're at R4 2020, at R4 2018. It was announced that that Remax had acquired booj. You guys went to work immediately building out the first two products.
We did.
And it took 2 years to get to a fairly substantial release. It's definitely across the U.S. But a year and a half ago, 6 months into the acquisition of booj, we started working on something that we'll see released in the future. So now that incubation period has come and gone, the wait is definitely lessened. So talk about how that's going to affect things moving forward, because we're not going to have to wait 2 years to see something new.
No way. And I think we released 4 products because we have the CRM, the websites, the lead gen, and the mobile apps. So those are 4 huge pillars of what's available in that ecosystem. And we built it based on feedback. So we did want to gather that feedback from the network on what they wanted in the products and tools, not what we thought and what the data told us. And we are constantly gathering that feedback and making adjustments and changes to what we've already delivered. And we have roadmaps, that go out for forever at this point. There's always something new that we want to add or build on. And we're nerds at heart. We are always playing with technology, whether it be related to real estate or not, and figuring out how do we tie this into what we're doing and how do we make the end user, whether that be the customer, the buyer, seller, the agent, the team, the office, their life easier. How do we build that technology to do that? And so we want to constantly release and improve to, support our tools and products.
And really the amazing thing from hearing all of this is how it is teamwork between booj and Remax, all under one family, working together, not kind of, here's a direction I think we go and we're going to force it on you. Constant communication, and it is so lovely to see.
Yeah.
I do want to have one last question, though, right in here, because it's really what you just said. First.
Yes.
Like a huge acquisition.
What a great acquisition. Their product is amazing.
It's amazing. And we're going to be chatting with Mike about it, too, as well. But how will First sort of, and this might be longer down the road, but I would imagine First will play with booj.
It totally will. And we're still in the beginning stages of figuring out that integration. We have to do it right. We really want to make sure that this is a successful release for all of us. So we are working with the First team to really start mapping those requirements and defining how we are going to integrate with that product.
Amazing. Without further ado.
Now it's time for the R4 Rapid 4.
Before we got started, Angelica rolled the dice 4 times. Jesse's holding in his hands 10 random, silly, nonsensical questions.
You thought it was going to be the questions I prepped you with.
I had a feeling you were setting me up. I'm ready.
Our first roll of the dice, Jesse, was number 2.
Number 2. Cent. C-E-N-T. And cent. S-E-N-T. In cent, S-C-E-N-T. Is the S or the C silent?
C.
I've
Oh no, now I'm nervous for the rest of these questions.
Let's keep it going.
I gotta focus.
What number do we have next?
Number 8.
Number 8. If animals could talk, which would be the rudest?
Sea otters.
What?
Because they're so cute, so I think they're setting you up. Like they look really cute, but they're like bossy and rude, and yeah,
But they got little hands and they swim on their backs.
they're
I know,
setting
but
you up. They
if
look
you
cute.
a little closer,
I bet if
think
you look
there's
into their
something there.
eyes.
Oh yeah, I hear ya.
Number 1.
Would you rather have noisy neighbors or nosy neighbors?
Noisy for sure. I'm good at blocking out sounds.
That's right. Just some Bose headphones and you could go on with your life.
Yeah.
no problem.
Canceling,
You're
right?
fine. Just hum a song in your head all day. You don't even have to hear them.
Good.
And your last rapid 4 question, Angelica, is number 9.
In the first few seconds, are you hoping it's Ice Ice Baby or Under Pressure?
Ice, ice, baby.
That's
Dun,
my
dun,
girl.
dun, 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 dun.
All right, stop. Collaborate and
And
listen.
listen.
Ice is back with a brand new invention. Something. Grab a hold of me tightly.
I don't know the rest of that part.
Oh, I
have
might
to
have
admit.
I
My
might have had
husband-
the haircut.
My husband's going to be embarrassed. I
I might
didn't know
have had
that
the
part.
clothes. But here's what there's one last thing I want to say because you kind of did this. Now, with Booj, it is so dope. And if you went on their company site of Boojers and so on and so forth, they've got their departments laid out. And in their departments, they've got theme songs for their department. So as I was doing research on Angelica, I'm like, where's her department? Couldn't find her anywhere. She doesn't even have a
I
department.
created my own department.
Right? So what would be your theme song?
Well, appropriately, since I created my own department like a boss, Rick Ross.
By Rick Ross, ladies and
Whoop,
gentlemen.
Like a boss.
And we are tapping out at 10 right there.
That brings us to the end of this episode of the 10-4 at Hour for a podcast with our guest, Angelica Olmsted. Thanks for joining us. My co-host is the magnificent Jesse Peters, and I'm Michael Thorne. We'll see you in the next one. Over and out.
Thank you very much.
That's this week's episode of the 10-4 at R4 Podcast with your hosts Jesse Peters and Michael Thorne. Don't forget to join us next week for another episode. Thank you for watching.